All right, folks, we also got some updates in Florida and that governor race and the Senate races started between the governor's race between Andrew Gillum and Ron DeSantis. Last poll, the Gravis Marketing Poll has Gillum up by 551 to 46. The two also debated this week. The debate moderator, Todd McDermott, took it to DeSantis with this question listing DeSantis' connections to white supremacists. Oh, my God, this is so painful. It did not go well. Press play.
On live TV in August, on the first day of the general election campaign, you said of Andrew Gillum's run for governor, quote, "The last thing we need to do is to monkey this up by embracing a socialist agenda." Fox News quickly disavowed your words, saying, quote, "They do not condone the language." Now, you called some of this response absurd. You've made appearances at 4 of David Horowitz's Freedom Center events. Again, 4 separate times, 4 speeches. Among some of Mr. Horowitz's statements, quoting here, "This country's only serious race war is against whites." You know, I'll ask the questions. Okay. It's not a McCarthy game, and I'm giving it. Wait for the question, okay, sir. Okay. He also said, if blacks are oppressed in America, why isn't there a black exodus? Now, in 2015, in your speech before the Freedom Center, you said of Mr. Horowitz, "David has done such a great work, and I've been an admirer. I've been to these conferences in the past, and I've been a big admirer of an organization that shoots straight, tells the American people the truth, and is standing up for the right thing." Those are his words. Here's my question.
He had not even made those statements then.
Yes, he had, sir. The first statement was made many years ago.
I mean, how the hell am I supposed to know every single statement somebody makes? Here's the deal. Let me just say this straight up. I've lived my life, whether it's athletics, whether it's military, whether it's serving as a prosecutor. When I was downrange in Iraq, we worked together as a team regardless of race. We had the American flag on our arm. We wore the same uniform, and we fought for the country. When I was a prosecutor, I stood up for victims of every race, color, and creed. That's the only way to do it in our country. It's something I believe in, and as governor, I will represent all the people. Everyone will get a fair shake. But I am not going to bow down to the altar of political correctness. I'm going to not let the media smear me like they like to do with so many other people.
Sir,
I'm certainly not going to take anything from Andrew Gillum, who's endorsed the Dream Defenders, which says Israel is an apartheid state, and which says the police and prisons have no place in justice.
Mr. Gillum, wait for the applause and go. And Mr. DeSantis, I'll point out, I wish you would have waited for the question, because I had a question and it's not what you think it is. Mr. Gillum, I'll give you a chance to respond now.
Well, let me first say, my grandmother used to say a hit dog will holler, and it hollered through this room. Mr. DeSantis has spoken. First of all, he's got neo-Nazis helping him out in the state. He has spoken at racist conferences. He's accepted a contribution and would not return it from someone who referred to the former president of the United States as a Muslim, Nigger. When asked to return that money, he said no. He's using that money to now fund negative ads. Now, I'm not calling Mr. DeSantis a racist. I'm simply saying the racists believe he's a racist.
Mr. DeSantis.
Damn, Ray.
That's such a good line. That is such a good line. For one of the things that many black candidates don't get throughout the nation is the compliment of being folksy, right? That's a really good campaign thing. We talk about it often with regard to former President Bill Clinton, about his down-homeness. People thought good things about President George W. Bush, a guy I'd like to have beer with, that folksiness, right? Andrew Gillum, beyond being as wildly intelligent as he is, also has that everyday Southern charm. So when he starts that piece with, well, my grandmother says hit dogs holler, there are folks who may not understand all the heavy political and policy jargon, go, yeah, I know what that means, though. I know that means that the guy just right now is defending racism in a way that don't feel right. And at the end, when he ends it with, I'm not saying you're a racist, but the people who we know to be racist sure seem to like you.
Shannon, it's a little hard when you have a person who's giving your campaign a lot of money, who called Obama a Muslim nigga, and you don't get the money back.
Well,
that's kind of like, really?
I can't speak for anybody else, but I know there was one time in my life I was on a ballot, and I didn't accept checks from folks that I couldn't agree with, period. Now, that's a hard way to run a campaign, but it sure is a lot easier to sleep at night.
Brandon?
Yeah, just to your point, Ray. We talk about policies and all that's one conversation, and I probably will agree with DeSantis more than Gillum on some issues on policy. But talking about this race issue and other issues, like talking about the folksiness of it, he's making a lot of missteps. I don't see why he couldn't do something as simple as return the money. I don't know why he couldn't, understand that maybe saying monkey in the context running against a black man in America. Again, in a vacuum,
it may not, make a big difference. But in the history of the 400 years of racism in this country, there's some things you just don't do.
And also, when you're in a debate and your black opponent calls you Congressman DeSantis, and you keep calling him Andrew,
yeah.
and not affording him the respect of being a mayor, that's a problem.
So there's a lot of things
Gotcha.
when you move away from politics.
I mean,
course, right.
That's
Actually
just
deliberate.
gamesmanship that people play across the board.